Hi, this is Rob Pierce. I'm the PMEA District 2 Webmaster and Secretary, and this is a tutorial on how to get students ready to audition for chorus festivals. The director actually has a lot of responsibilities before the festival starts. Directors have to put together preference lists to send to the host director so they know which students will be participating. They have to get all the student forms together, all the signatures in place, everything collected in time and sent to the host director before the due date. The festival invoice has to be paid by the local school district, and they're responsible for seeing that that happens. Incidental information usually has to be sent to the host director. This lets them know which sections you can audition students in whenever you need to judge. You're never supposed to judge a section that you have a student auditioning in, and it's necessary for you to inform the host which sections you can actually serve as a judge in. Also things like whether or not you're going to attend a banquet and bring a guest. Usually there are little bits of information that host directors need. You also have to prepare students musically for the festival, and this is a big responsibility and the main subject of this tutorial. Student audition tutorial. I have already created a video for students that explains to them exactly what the process looks like from their point of view and gives them some tips on how to survive it and how to do well. So it would be a great idea for you to watch that video. It's posted on the PMEA District 2 website. It's a good idea to begin with the end in mind. Whenever you get the music from the host director, look it over and think to yourself, what would a very likely audition spot be in these pieces? Some pieces just don't lend themselves for a very good audition. They may be very simple, maybe very repetitive. There just might not be very difficult sections in them for a certain section. So whenever you get the music, take a look at it and decide right off the bat which sections are likely candidates, and that gives you an idea which ones to rehearse a little bit extra hard on. Hold regular rehearsals. Always a good idea. If you could maybe schedule a certain day or a certain couple days after school each week and put together a regular practice schedule. This makes things a lot easier. It's an awful lot easier if you do it a little bit each week over a long time rather than try to cram everything in the last few days before the festival. It's also a really good idea to get together some recordings or maybe videos for the students to listen to and watch. YouTube is a wonderful source of information. Lots of choirs are posting songs on YouTube now, and many of the songs we do in festivals, there are recordings available there. You can also get recordings online, or maybe you have a CD collection that includes some of the recordings that we are using for this particular festival. Also a good idea to put together practice recordings, either a recording of someone singing the student's part or just playing the student's part on piano, making CDs or MP3s for the students to use that have only their parts on it. It makes it a lot easier if they're rehearsing just the line that they have to sing. Judges' score sheets. It's a really good idea to download these from the PMEA website. You can copy them off and give them to students so the students can see for themselves exactly what they're going to be scored on in auditions. It just helps put them in the right frame of mind to do well. Some other tips. There are online MIDI files posted on my website, the website for my choir, which is www.wazchoirs.org. You can go to that website, and I have an actual menu for PMEA festivals, and I usually just post all of the MIDI files of all the songs on there. So you could go and download those. I also have on that website a tutorial video, and on the PMEA website as well, that shows you exactly how to take those and make single voice part practice tapes that the students can use on their own. It really has helped out a lot of students, or they could just practice straight from the website too. That gives them the opportunity to hear pitches whenever you're not around to help them out. If they have a little bit of technical knowledge or background, they could even probably make CDs for themselves. Those directions really aren't that difficult if you take your time and work your way through them. It's a good idea to have combined rehearsals too. If you don't have a full quartet and you don't have all the parts covered, there may be another high school in your district or a neighboring district that has students they're sending to. It's a great idea to get everybody together every once in a while, and there's strength in numbers, and usually can help them to gain confidence on their parts a little bit quicker if there are other people singing with them. It's a good idea to practice a cappella sometimes too. I think that as choral directors, we often have the habit of just taking the easy shortcut and just plunking out all the notes on the piano all the time. But you have to remember that the students are not going to have a piano to sing along with in auditions. So it's a good idea for at least part of the time, especially as you approach the festival, to practice a cappella and to have them sing their parts without the benefit of you playing the notes with them. It's also a good idea to drill the scale. I know it seems a little bit silly. The scale isn't really an official part of the auditions. Students aren't actually judged on the scale in any way. Maybe it helps them understand whether or not they're good in that particular section or can hit the range of a bass 2 or a soprano 1. But for the most part, they don't pay a whole lot of attention to the scale. However, there are few certain things to avoid. It's very common to hear students do just a warm-up instead of the scale that we ask for, just singing la 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 la, just up and down 5 notes or something like that. I get a kick out of students who tend to sing the syllables up the scale and then just repeat them down the scale in the same order. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Something like that. It's a good idea just to help them avoid embarrassment, to spend a little bit of time making sure they know how to sing a proper scale. It's also a really good idea to hold mock auditions. Have the students go through the audition process. And another thing, if your students are brave enough, you could just copy the judge sheets and pass them out to other students and have them listen to each other. You sit down and think, okay, this is a likely audition spot, and then you tell them, here's where you have to start, here's where you have to stop, here's where the midpoint is, and give them a pitch and have them give it a shot while the students serve as judges. A lot of times when they have to look at the things from the judge's point of view, it really helps them out a lot, makes them more aware of what happens in auditions. So mock auditions are a fantastic idea, and they really help motivate the students to get ready. The Inner Game of Music is a book based on an original book called The Inner Game of Tennis, which is a fantastic book that helps people work through the nervousness and butterflies in the stomach of things such as auditions or public performances. If you've never read this book, I highly recommend it. It has a lot of tips and tricks that can really help out students for auditions and things like that. And if you know it, you can pass on some of those tips to them. Well, this is the end of my tutorial. I hope you've gotten a few tips that'll help the students prepare for auditions well. Check out the other tutorial videos that I have on the website, and I'll see you at the festival.